Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another vid. So I just peeped out that press conference between Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev for their rematch that's coming up in June. There's a couple takeaways from this press conference. First things first, before I get to those takeaways, I thought it was going to be a more explosive, if not more heated press conference based on the conjure and the heated approach that Sergey Kovalev has taken against Andre Ward via social media after their first bout had concluded, which, was a very close fight and a controversy. Some people felt Ward won, some people felt that Kovalev won. So, Andre Ward became the victor. Kovalev has been very heated ever since. He's been taunting Andre Ward. He's called him son of judges. He's called a man, you're not a man of God, and all that stuff. You're a coward, fight me. I'm going to end your boxing career. All this other stuff on social media, right? But when it came to the press conference, Kovalev didn't even utter those words at all. Okay, you would expect him to utter the words that he was doing on social media to Ward, but he didn't do that. But after the fact that after they did their face off, he had nothing to say to him, but he did say when he was given a couple of interviews, saying that, well, I think it was IFL, shout out to them by the way, or by like one of the two. He said that a quote. He said that Andre Ward is gonna fake an injury, get out of a fight. He doesn't want to fight me. Well, I'm not too sure about that because he went along and fought you in the first fight, and he went along with you in the rematch. So, Andre Ward is adamant in fighting you. So I don't know where you're getting this idea that he may fake an injury, but who knows? Anything can happen. He could get injured before a fight. That can happen, but God forbid. I don't want that to happen. But another thing I also noticed too is John David Jackson wasn't there. And I know Kathy Duva announced before they kicked off the press conference that he wasn't going to attend due to the fact that he had prior commitments. He was busy with his schedule. So, I kind of find that still suspicious right there. I mean, if anybody has more information on why John David Jackson wasn't available at the press conference, then please let me know. Other than that, I'll just take Kathy Duva's word for it. Kovalev had very few words when he went up to the podium. Due to his broken English, which is understandable. Then Andre Ward, closed out the press conference before they did their pose-off photos, with a little lengthy monologue and, very carefully crafted and well-spoken monologue, whatnot. But during the face-off, it seems like Kovalev didn't really want to look at Andre. I mean, yeah, he was staring at him momentarily, but it just seems like he just couldn't fathom. He just couldn't fathom looking at Andre because there's just so much disdain and hatred right there for Ward. I mean, for Kovalev against Ward. And Andre, being cool, calm, and collective, playing the cerebral mind games with Kovalev, he doesn't look intimidated. Okay, because Kovalev is a guy who intimidates you. He's not a guy who could threaten you by talking in a way. He threatens you by his presence and his aura, given the fact that he has brutalized a lot of his opponents. And yes, he killed a man in the ring a few years ago, which I keep alluding to. But it just seems like it's not working with Andre, and I think he's really getting to him, to Kovalev, because I think he's really bothered by the fact that this guy's not intimidated by me. Yes, I felt that I beat him the first time, but it seems like he's not scared the second. He's not scared at all. It's just like, I mean, what do I have to do to shake this guy's confidence? You know? And this is something that Kovalev is not used to, because he's always the guy who's very used to playing the cerebral games. I mean, he's not. I'm not saying that. What I mean by that is that he doesn't have to talk trash to you. He pretty much says what he's going to do in the ring, he's going to do it. And that's what struck fear in most of his opponents. I know Pascal tried to throw him off his game by, being very inflammatory towards him in their, in their rematch fight, which that didn't make any sense. But, apparently that didn't work. That motivated Kovalev even further. And though Kovalev made a couple mistakes in that fight, but Pascal was not a very consistent or technical fighter. So that's why Kovalev was able to get his way with him in his second fight. But Andre Ward is a different guy. Yes, Kovalev may be. I would say he is motivated to in this fight as well. But to me, it just seems that something was not right with him. To be honest with you, his body language says it all. It just seems like he wasn't quite energetic. He wasn't quite enthusiastic. But yeah, something there wasn't right, in my opinion. again, it could be the cerebral games, that Ward is the cerebral effect that Ward's has on Kovalev. That could be a possibility, or it could be something else. I don't know. Yeah, just a very, very interesting press conference. I thought it would be some fireworks, but it wasn't. So, pretty cool, well demeanor press conference. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Before I go, I want to say one thing. There's a idiot that just got mad because I did a video on Hagler ducking the Sugar Ray Leonard rematch by saying who cares what people thoughts about that. Nobody wants to hear you talk about history. Well, first of all, dummy, you made a video not too long ago about Hagler versus Golovkin's 13 defenses. So if that's not talking about history, you tell me what is. It seems like it's okay for you to talk about history, but when I do it, it's a problem, or the librarian does it, it's a problem. Okay? So, you need to get off that crack and cocaine and stop drinking. Real talk. But anyways, and another thing, it seems like the Andre Ward detractors just still, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about this, and it seems to me that he has a point. It seems like you guys got more pleasure if Andre Ward actually didn't go through the rematch. You'd be all over the the YTBC or the LD. No, I'm sorry, not the LDBC. I'm sorry, y'all. The YTBC, gloating and celebrating the fact that Ward didn't go through it. You would call him a coward. You call him a bitch. You call him a pussy. All that stuff, and yet, when he does go through with the rematch, you still call him a coward and a pussy and what's not. Jesus Christ, what does this man have to do for you to gain his respect? Excuse my language, I said that incorrectly. What does he have to do to gain your respect? Apparently he can't. All right. Wow, and it's also mind-boggling that this is a man who fought for the United States, fought for your home country, and won a gold medal in the Olympics. Shout out to the Reef the Watcher, by the way. He brought up a good point in his video. I never seen a fringe fan base go against their own countrymen in favor of an Eastern European fighter. The UK fans don't do that shit. In fact, if this was in Russia, if Andre Ward came into town, it would be no way the Russian fan base would be rooting for Andre Ward against their countrymen. No way. And it appears that the United States is a laughingstock when it comes to the boxing fan base. Real talk, because a friend of mine from England was asking me about this, and he felt that this is kind of a weird and somewhat disturbing behavior from the American fan base. Well, again, I can only speak for me, but at the same time, it is worth pointing out, it is worth to acknowledge the fact that this is, it is quite alarming. And, yeah, and one more thing, I gotta say, shout out to MBT Boxing and Dream Chaser. Check their channels out; they had a great collaboration. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are about this press conference. I'm out. Peace.